You know, in a city like Tokyo that's always reinventing itself, some of the best stories are hidden right in plain sight. Today, we're going to dive into one of its 23 special wards, a place whose identity is as intense as the river it was named after. This is the story of Arakawa.
So, the name itself, it's our first big clue. Arakawa literally translates to rough river or wild river. And that's not just some poetic name they picked out of a hat. Nope. It's a direct callback to the Arakawa River, which was, for centuries, this incredibly violent, flood-prone force of nature that literally shaped life in this area.
And that brings us to the big question we're going to tackle. How on earth did a place born from a wild river and packed with heavy industry completely transform into one of Tokyo's most popular spots for raising a family? It's a pretty amazing story of reinvention.
Okay, so to really get what Arakawa is now, we gotta go back in time. Let's dig into how this place became the real, beating, working-class heart of Tokyo.
Okay, take a look at this timeline. What's crazy is just the sheer amount of change here. Way back in the Edo period, it was actually a scenic resort known as the Village of Twilight. Then, boom, the Meiji era hits. The area had lots of river water, so factories for textiles, paper, you name it, just exploded. The 20th century brought real tragedy, like the 1962 Mikawashima train crash, which was so devastating it forced a total rethink of railway safety across Japan. And then, starting in the 2000s, another huge shift. Old industrial zones started getting redeveloped into modern residential high-rises.
For generations, Arakawa's economy was the definition of shitamachi, or low city. Think of this buzzing ecosystem of hundreds of tiny, family-run workshops. They're called machikoba, churning out everything from paper goods and leather products to super precise metal parts. And right at the heart of it all, you've got Nippori Fabric Town. This place is still to this day the absolute mecca for fabric in Japan, drawing in designers from all over the world.
But then, things started to change. The ward made a conscious decision to reinvent itself, kicking off this incredible turnaround that would totally reshape its identity.
And here's the key thing. This didn't just happen by accident. Nope. The local government made a very deliberate choice. They got famous all over Japan for their super aggressive support for families. We're talking subsidized school lunches, better healthcare, the whole shebang. It was a targeted and really successful campaign to bring a new generation into the ward.
In this slide, man, it just lays it all out perfectly. The whole perception of Arakawa did a complete 180. It went from being seen as this gritty, industrial, and, let's be honest, kind of unpopular area, to being seen as desirable, great for kids, and way more middle class. The reputation just completely flipped.
And did it work? Well, the numbers speak for themselves. Today, this pretty small, dense ward is home to a buzzing community of around 220,000 people. That's a population built on the back of this massive, intentional transformation.
But here's where it gets really interesting. Arakawa didn't just bulldoze its past to make way for the future. Instead, what it created is this ward full of fascinating and honestly pretty surprising contrasts.
So first, you have to remember its DNA, right? Arakawa is classic shitamachi. It's that traditional, down-to-earth, working-class culture you find in Tokyo's flatlands. It's got this very specific, no-frills, salt-to-the-earth vibe.
Okay, so get that low city image in your head, this gritty, traditional vibe. Because what I'm about to show you is the first major plot twist Arakawa has in store for us.
Yeah, you heard that right. Kaisei Academy. We're talking about the #1 ranked, most elite high school in the entire country. The one famous for sending more students to the University of Tokyo than any other school is located right here in the heart of this old working-class ward. It's just an unbelievable contrast.
And the surprises just keep on coming. Arakawa is also home to Japan's very first modern sewage treatment plant, which was built way back in 1922. And I know what you're thinking, a sewage plant? That doesn't exactly sound like a glamorous tourist spot.
I mean, a sewage plant, right? How could that possibly be a point of pride? Well, that's where you'd be wrong. Because this is so much more than just a sewage plant. The Mikawashima Water Reclamation Center is so important historically that it's actually a designated national important cultural property. And even better, they built a massive, beautiful park right on top of it. The view from that park? It was voted one of the top 100 views in all of Tokyo. It's an old industrial site that's been turned into a beloved cultural and natural treasure. Just amazing.
And this mix-and-match identity extends to the people, too.
Arakawa is a real melting pot. You've got one of Japan's oldest Koreatowns, the historic Zainichi community, living right alongside all the new Japanese families moving into those high-rises. And on top of that, you have these growing communities of Nepali, Vietnamese, and Chinese residents. It's a truly diverse place.
All right, so when you put all these pieces together, what do you get? Let's talk about Arakawa's hidden charm, what feels like the soul of a city that's always evolving.
This table really nails it. On one hand, you've got these symbols of the past, like that classic clang-clang of the toad in Arakawa, Tokyo's very last public streetcar, and the local spot serving up manjiaki pancakes. And then, right next to them, you have the symbols of the present, the sleek, modern skyline of Minami Shinju, and the shiny, renovated, kid-friendly amusement park. They aren't fighting each other, they're just existing, side by side.
And that right there is the whole story, the magic of Arakawa. It didn't destroy its past to build a future. It's a story of integration. The real charm of this place is that you can be standing on the balcony of a brand new condo and still hear the nostalgic sound of that old streetcar rolling down the tracks.
Which kind of leaves us with one last big thought, right? In a mega city like Tokyo, a place that's famous for constantly tearing down the old to build the new, Arakawa offers a totally different way of doing things. It really makes you stop and think, what does it truly mean to not just remember, but to live with everything that came before?